Good morning, friends. We are learning our subject Python for Data Science 3150713. And in that, we are learning our module 1, that is overview of Python and data structure, right? So, yesterday we have seen the if-else, right? Yesterday we have seen the if-else statement and elif also. Let me show you once again so you can recall, right? What was that? Say, this example we have taken, that was if x is less than or equal to y, we can say we are having other if-else statement. So therein, what we consider, this is called the nested if-else statement, right? This is called the nested if-else statement. So if we do not want to have this nested if-else statement, what we can do? We can have the elif. That is the way we are having if, else if, else if, else if, else in our C or Java language, right? So that's what we want to have. So now we can say how to have the elif. That is, say if x is less than or equal to y and x is less than or equal to z, say print x. Elif, instead of else if, in this language we are having elif. Okay, y is less than or equal to x and y is less than or equal to z. Colon is must because in this language we do not have braces, right? So if you write brace, then also it will not consider. We must be having the colon. Then only it is considered that the condition is finished and now the action part will be there. So there we are writing say print y. And yes, one more thing is, that is this indentation is must. If it is not there, then you can say it will be wrong. Wrong in the way that it will give you the syntax error, right? Else, for that also colon is must, then the proper indentation is required, and then after the, what we can say is the action. That is, here we are having the print z. Fine. So this is what is if, elif, else. Okay. This is what we have seen yesterday, right? This example also we have seen. 0.1 into 3 is, according to maths or our belief, it is 0.3 only, but computer does not have it is 0.3 because it is having different lot representation. So for that we can say we will be having, if we are checking if x is equal to zero point 0.3, it will not consider x as exactly zero point 0.3, but it will consider it as say 0.3, many zeros and 4. Now when we are having something like this, we can say it is not exactly equal to zero point 0.3. Fine. So I have again told you the same example to keep you aware of the thing, right? Okay. So that was the the elif. Okay. Now let us say that or conditions also we are having and conditions also we are having, right? And these things, that is only okay. We are not using only print okay. If print okay is there, then that okay or not okay will be printed. But here only okay is there. If it is C language or Java language, it could be giving you error. But here error will not be there, but nothing will be printed because print statement is not there, right? Okay, so these things are known to us. Now we want to start with the loops. For loop, while loop, these things are known to us. Do while loop in our C, Java language is known to us, right? So what new things we want to know here? is our for loop. How to write? Okay, let us see that for loop has range in it. Range. What is that? Till now in C, C++, we used to have it as for I in. Typically, we are having it as for I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, right? Here what we are having is, we can say, for loop has range in it. Range means starting from this to this, isn't it? The way we were having in C, for I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus. There also we are specifying range only. But there we are giving the condition. Here will be directly giving the range. So let us see that how we are specifying the range. That is, we can say range SED. What is that? S is starting, E is ending, and D is distance. That is, I is equal to 0. When we were saying that is the starting. So here we need to specify 0. For E, I is less than 5. So that 5 should we provide? No, here if we are providing it as 5, it means it will start with 0 and go till what? Whatever is the range minus 1. So if I provide 5, then it will consider 5 minus 1. So 4, right? The way we are having I less than 5, the same thing will be there. So do not confuse with less than 5 and less than or equal to 5. Okay, here it is starting point. Starting point, and after we can say E, that is the and for. Please do not open your microphone, okay? Because it is creating noise in between. Okay, starting. Please do not open your microphone, okay? It is creating problem. હજી કોઈનો ચાલે છે પણ સ્નેશા સ્નેશા mute your microphone. Okay, so what we are having here, that is that distance, right? We want to consider the distance. So what we say is S is starting, E is end, and D is distance, right? Okay. Then range, one more is there, that is S and E with two parameters. S is starting, E is end, and D is D minus 1, right? Here we have only said that D is distance, but it is D minus 1, okay? Range E is that, then we can say S is 0, E is end, and D is minus 1. So three ways it is given, that is range with one parameter, range with two parameters, and range with three parameters. Okay. So how we can have the syntax for loop is for iterating variable in sequence and statements. Okay, so this is what is the syntax for our for loop. Let us see the example, we can have the idea. Okay, now here let us say that n is equal to 5. We want to create a table for 5. That is, say 5 ones are 1, 5 twos are 10, 5 threes are 15, that way. Okay, if we want to do that, very simple thing, we can write it as for I in range 1 to 11. Why 11? Because we know that what it will consider it as distance, and whatever is the E, what we will be having is it as minus 1, right? Whatever is there, minus 1 will be there. What we have used here is this and no. We have considered with only two parameters, right? two parameters. That means S and E, two parameters are there, right? So what we have to consider is here D minus 1 is the distance. Here I was telling you D minus 1 means 1, 1, 1, 1. We will be decrementing. But what is that? For this particular thing, for E it is n minus 1. But, what we say about the distance, whatever we want to provide here, D, that will be there. Whatever D we provide, that means what? If I want to have say I plus equal to 2, I can provide distance as 2. If I want I plus equal to 3, then I can provide it as 3. If I want to have the negative distance, then I can have it as minus 1. So it will consider I minus minus, right? You will be clear with the thing when we'll see that. Don't have any issue. For I in range 1 to 11. So what it will consider? 1 to 10 it will consider, because this is minus 1. Okay. It is not the distance. It is the and minus 1. Okay. And what is the distance for this? As we haven't provided any distance, it will consider 1. That is I plus equal to 1 as we are having in our C or Java language. Fine. Okay. So now if we do this, what we'll be getting is, we'll be getting the output as this one. 5 ones are 1, 2, 5 tens are 50. Okay. So this is the way we'll be getting the output. Okay. Let me show you that in our program. Yeah. So this is the way we should use, right? Yeah. Let me have the same example as I told you, then I'll show you something more. That is, say for, what was there? I in range, what was there? 1 to 11, right? Colon is must. The way we were having in if else, here also we need to have the colon, right? So for I in range 1 to 11, what should we do is print. What will be doing? N is required for us. N is equal to 5, right? Then only we can say we'll be having what? Say 5, sorry, not 5. And what we want to print? And multiply by whatever is our I, right? And that is equal to, what we want to have is, we can say n multiply by I. Okay, there is nothing like semicolon here. Okay, there is nothing like semicolon here, the way we are having in other languages. Fine. So do not have this. Do not have this, right? Okay, this way. Now let me run this. Control enter. It is running. It is connecting, right? For Google Collaboratory, as it is connecting to Google, it will show connecting, then after it will run. Once it is connected, it will not show you this, right? So it is connecting, fine? Okay, so now, oh, and we haven't provided, right? And value we haven't provided. We have directly written it as an, here we could have given it as this, fine? Let me show you. Right? 5 ones are 1 is 5, 5 twos are 10, 5 threes are 15. So the whole table is being printed, right? So what we have considered is, for I in range 1 to 11, because we want to have 1 to 10 values of 5. So we'll be giving one more here. And what is the distance is 1, because it is not specified here. Okay, it is not specified here. Fine. Okay, so let us go ahead. Now let us say that here one more example for loop. for I in range 1 to 5. So what value of I it will consider? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let me bring that also so you can have the idea. This is I. Okay. Let me give some colon separators so we can have the idea, right? Otherwise, it will get mixed, and if formatting is not proper, nobody can understand the output, right? So I have changed the code. Fine. Now let me run this. What we have run is what we have written is print I, and after that 1.0 divide by I. Okay. Let's see that. Run it. So what it is giving us, for value of I is equal to 1, we are having 1.0 because it is 1.0 divided by 1. Then we can say for value of 2, it is 1.0 divided by 2, right? Then we can say 1.0 divided by 3, 1.0 divided by 4, right? Very simple thing is that, okay? Python is very nice, cool language. Okay. If we want to have the print numbers from 1 to 10, what should we do? It's very simple. If we are having for loop, what we can write is for I in range 1 to 11 print. You can say, ma'am, here you are not putting any indentation. It is directly coming. Yes, it is because this is the editor, right? Editor gives us this facility. Okay, so here we can say we'll be printing I. Okay. See, Google Collaboratory is very nice in the way that they are giving the help also while we are typing, right? So that way it is helpful to us. Right? So 1 to 10 numbers we are able to print, right? We are able to print them. Now we want to learn one more thing, that is while loop. Okay, we want to learn the while loop. These examples we have just seen, right? Okay, so what is there in the while loop, or what is the syntax of it? For that we can say while expression colon suit else suit. Now what is this? Let us say that we are having our while loop, right? The way this syntax is written, we want to understand it for our, what we can say is while, okay, in Python. So while whatever is our a variable is there, a is greater than 10, colon, right? Colon is required, okay? So if this condition satisfies, then we can say print a, comma, and is equal to dot, right? That is a print statement, okay? But its meaning is that we will see a bit later. A is equal to a minus 1. We know that if we are having the while loop, we have to provide the, what we can say, we have to provide the a plus plus or a minus minus or anything like that, isn't it? That's what we have to provide. So that's what we have written. Else in C language or Java language, were we writing something like else? No, it was not that, right? But here we need to provide, and that is print false condition or loop, for loop. Okay, false condition for loop. Okay, okay. For I haven't written because otherwise you may confuse with for loop and while loop. Okay, so consider this is the end of the condition. Fine. Now, here one special thing I have used here, that is eval, right? Any a variable is there, we can work with that, but I want to show you this eval, that is it will evaluate, okay, whether whatever things are given is true or false, right? Okay, so a, whatever is given here, that will be evaluated and will be having the value. Okay, let me show you this only one line and show what it is giving us. Okay, very simple thing. Let me show you here. A is equal to eval input, right? We can write any text here, enter number, fine, okay. And then after, I'll print A, okay. One more thing I want to have is print type of A. Let me do this. Enter number, okay, I'm giving it as 5. What it does for us is it is taking the number 5. Typically, we know that for input, it gives us this string, isn't it? If I remove this eval, you know that it will be string, right? Let me run this. You can recall that. Fine, it is string. But what we want is, we want to take it as integer. Till now, we were using it as this way, that is this one, right? We can use it as this one, that is be evaluated, right? So we'll be getting the A as integer only. See the difference. Okay, here this is 5. This comes to be integer, right? So do we want to have this? No, this is I have shown you. What we want to have is the while condition, right? While condition. So what we want to have is while A is greater than 10. Let me show you here. This you understood, right? While A is greater than 10, what was there? What was there in our code? Print A and, right? Print A and is equal to dot. Now this is the special thing. What is special about it is typically when we are using print statement, you will be able to see it as say output 1, then the new line is there, then after we'll be able to see 2, again new line is there, then after you will be able to see 3, right? So you can say vertically you will be able to see 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That way we are able to see the output if it is while loop or any other loop, right? But here what we want to do is we want to see the output in one line only. That means what I mean to say, not in one line, but I mean to say that whatever is the output, I want to separate it out with the help of dot instead of new line. Typically, when we are not writing this, that is an is equal to dot, it gives us what? It gives us new line. We do not want to have that new line. So what we are doing is we are giving it as dot. See, it depends on you, the way you want to see the output, right? For pattern generation, we typically need to have the space or no space or that way. If I do not want to have the space or nothing, I can remove this. Just do double quotes, right? Let me show this. You can have the idea, right? The output will be something like this. 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot, whatever is we are printing, we'll be getting it like this. Okay, so here A is equal to A minus 1. Okay, this is our while. And what else? We want to provide the else. So for else, what we provided, the same code I'll show you, right? Print false condition for loop, right? False condition. So let me write it. Here, I'll say that print false condition, right? Okay, now let me run this. what it gives us? It gives us false condition. It gives us false condition. Why? Why false condition? It should have printed 1, 2, 3, 4. But, do you remember what is the value of A? In the previous case, we have taken the value of 5. What it is doing here is if A is greater than 10, then only it is printing the value, right? So if we want to run this while loop, what should we have done is, we should have given the value of A which is greater than 10. Okay, let me run this. Okay, so now let me give it as 15. So it is greater than 10 at least. Now we again have to run this, okay? Again we have to run this particular cell because we have changed the value of A, okay? So what it will do is 15 dot. Now you can see the output. Here it is not giving it as 15, then in new line 14, then in new line 13, then in new line 12, not that way, okay? So it is like 15 dot, 14 dot, 13 dot, 12 dot, 11. Then after, as the condition becomes false, it is printing false condition, right? It's very simple, isn't it? Proper indentation is required, colon is required, here also colon is required, here also indentation is required. If indentation is not proper, it will simply give you error, right? See, the code formatting is very nice here. See, in C or Java language, you can have that with the braces, right? But still, indentation, if you put properly, the code is readable. And that is what is directly available in the Python. If it do not provide the indentation properly, it will give you the error, right? Let me show you here if I remove this. Let me run. It gives us error, indentation error, right? So indentation is must here, right? Now if I run this, it runs fine. Okay, so take care of it. And if you are using any text editor or any other editor, take care that whether you have provided proper indentation or not. Fine? Okay, so let us proceed further. Let us have one more example while loop. Count is equal to 1 while count is less than or equal to 10. See how while works is known to us, isn't it? Here we have to do count is equal to count plus plus. Here you can say else is not there, else is not provided. Just now we have seen else is there. Okay, fine. Let us have count is less than or equal to 10, print count and is equal to dot. So we want that output should be separated with the dot, right? And what else? Count is equal to count plus 1. So we have given the increment of 1. Okay, but else I haven't provided. So it should give me error. Let me check it out. Is it giving me error? No, it is not giving me error. When I want to see that when the condition becomes false, it should do something, then only I should use the else. Right? If I am not using, fine, no issue. Okay, so this is school language, isn't it? While else. Okay, this example we have already seen, right? While else. Okay, for evaluation, we have done that. Fine. This we have already seen. As I wanted to show you with the same example, I mean the way we have seen in the PDF file, I wanted to show you. So I have shown you this before. Okay, fine. So now for with tuples. With tuple, do we know? No, we don't know. Okay, let me show you one example. You can have the idea. We already know that list, tuple, and set all are having the comma separated values, right? They are having the comma separated values. For list, it is there in square bracket. For tuple, it is there in the parenthesis. And for set, it is there in the braces. In detail, we will see, right? Here, I just want to show you that we can iterate the tuple or list or set with for loop. That's why I'm showing you here. So for that, tuple, as I told you, tuple say t is equal to comma separated values. So 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, right? For tuple, we should have these values inside the parentheses. Okay, so let me run this. So let me print this also. Print T. Let me print the type of it also. We'll see that in detail. Okay, I just want to use it here. Okay, so it is class tuple and the value is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Then what we can say is what it is? It is, we can say that it is comma separated values, right? Here I have printed whole tuple, right? Here I have printed whole tuple. I am not iterating it. I am not iterating it, so it is whole tuple is printed. Now I want to iterate it one by one value I want to have. So for that we can say that for I in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is tuple, right? We know that. This is a tuple. Okay. Colon, indentation, print I. Okay. So if I do this and run it, I'll be getting the output that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this is vertically we are getting the output. I don't want to see it like that. Okay, no issue. You can have it this way. That is and is equal to say colon separator you want. Fine. So put the separator. So you can see it as 1 colon 2 colon 3 colon 4 colon 5 colon. Right? Okay. Now let us see one example of geometric progression. What is there in it? That is, we are having say value of R, we are having the value of A, we are having the value of N. Okay, now till now we have taken it as input of something that will give us what? String. We have converted that to integer. Yes, that also we have seen. But now we want to have that is converted to float. So we'll be writing float here, right? Okay. It converts what? It converts a string or number to floating point number if possible, right? If not possible, like if I have given the input as AMI, definitely it is not going to be converted to float, isn't it? So if it is possible, it will convert that string or number, whatever is given, to the floating point number, right? So we are taking the float as R, float as A, and N as integer, right? Now, very simple equation is that, right? Which we want to apply. You can have any other equation like say circle area, or you can say that circumference, or anything, any equation you can use. Here we are using the geometric progression, right? So that equation is not part of our syllabus, okay? So term is equal to A, we are printing the term. Then for I in range of 1 to n. 1 to n. So it will consider the value from 1 to n minus 1. Okay. Term is equal to term multiplied by R and print the term. Very simple thing is that is we want to have term multiplied by R. Right. And for that term, what is that? It is equal to A. This is what we want to have in this example. This is the geometric progression, right? Geometric progression example, right? See, if I teach you the area of circle, am I going to teach you that whole equation? No, na. Same way here, this is geometric progression. Okay, for that, this is the equation. Okay, see here, I am giving radius as say 5. Then A. This A is required, it is the term, right? I am giving anything, say 2. Now N, let me say it as say 7. So what it is giving us 2, 10, 50, 250. 1250, 6250, 31250, right? What is important to us is we have used the for loop, that is we can say that for evaluating a particular equation. And one more thing is, till now we were using only integer, here now we have used the float, right? Okay. See, in our PDF file we are having these things, right? This example, whatever is the geometric progression, this is that, right? The same thing is that. What I used to do is, some people would like to read it from the PDF file, some people would like to read it from the directly the code, right? And whatever is the explanation, right? So I have made both the things for the basics of our Python. Then after we'll be having only Python code, that is the IPYNB. Yeah, the explanation will be there in the IPYNB file only. Uh, why I am telling you these things? Because say typically you are having the habit that the basics that is being taught to you using the PPT or PDF or something like that, and then after whenever we want to run that, that is using the simple editors, for C editor, for you can say Java editor, right? Here we are learning Python, so we are using Python editor. But the thing is, that's what I'm starting with. So you can have the same thing, but then I'll take you to only use the IPYNB, that is the editor file. Why it is so, ma'am? Why are you doing so? It is because IPYNB, that is you can say Jupyter Notebook, or you can say collaboratory editor, whatever editor you are using, they are being used for presentation too. It does have the HTML code inside that. So IPYNB code, whatever we write inside that, is not only useful for your Python code, but also for presentation. So starting we are doing with this PDF file for presentation, and then you can say that the code we run in the IPYNB file, but later we will move directly to the Python editor, wherein we'll be using the IPYNB file, that is for our subject we'll be editing it using the Google Collaboratory and Jupyter Notebook, right? Okay, so this is what we want to do. Fine. So we can have some more example. Fine. Okay, let us have one more example for nested for loop. Okay, so that is for while loop. Okay, I mean for loops only, but now we want to know the nested one. So we know that for loop inside other for loop is nested for loop, isn't it? See, these things are known to us. We are learning the Python language. Okay, so let me show you. For I in range of 1 to 9, for j in range of 1 to 6, print I multiply by j, and is equal to space. In single quote, ma'am, till now you were showing with double quote. Then why are you showing here single quote? We know that. In Python, we can use single quote or double quote for string, right? So that's what we are specifying. But here you haven't written anything, so it is space, isn't it? It is simple. So let me run this. Here only print because I want to give the new line, right? So what I am doing is I want to print say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, right? We can say that each and every table I am printing, like this is for 1, this is for 2, then the next line is for 3, then for 4. Then for 5, 6, right? This way I want to give the tables, right? Only till 5. I mean, starting with 1 to 5. For 2 ones are 1, 2 fives are 10, 3 ones are 3, 3 fives are 15, right? This way I want to have the output, okay? So we have done this nested for loop, okay? For formatting, that is, we want that after the first loop is completed, we want to have the print. That is the output we want to have in the new line. That's what we are giving it as print, right? In C or Java also, we used to have something like this. That is, we are printing printf, then backslash n, right? So that's what we are doing here. In Java, we are having system.out.println. Okay. So now, here, the same means we can say that nested for loop, but what we want is we want to have the output which is separated with the dot, right? So for that we know that we'll be using print j comma and is equal to dot, right? See, this code I'm showing you because you can say that my material is dependent on whatever certification courses I have done. In that NPTEL course, all of you I think know NPTEL, right? Swayam courses of our government of India, which is being given by the IITs, right? IITs of our India. Now, in that NPTEL course, they are having the online editors. Means for submitting the code, you have to write the code in that, and there you can have the compile button, click on that, it will compile and execute for execution, right? So for that they are having the output this way. They do not give you the output wherein you are having simple new lines, but they are having the output something like this. That it is required, right? Without that, if see, if the output is asked as 1, then in new line 2, in new line 3, in new line 4, and if you are giving the output as this, is it similar? No, it is not similar. It will give you wrong output, right? What you should have is, if it is being said that vertically you should print, then you should print vertically. If it is being said that you should print in one line, then you should print that way only, right? And in those, we have used this much most of the times, and that's why for teaching you, I am considering this, right? See, many IIT courses, which I have already shown you, those IIT Kanpur, then IIT Ropar, and then after IIT Madras courses, I have done. Based on that, this material is that, right? So you will find the typical examples also. What I found interesting, I have put in this. Okay, so that will be helpful to you. So take care of this end. Okay. And why I am telling you this story? Because I want you to register for NPTEL courses. See, if you study IIT courses, you are having the certificate of it, then wow, it is great for your career, isn't it? So please do register for the IIT courses for Python. I know I have already told you in my certifications also, whatever are those certifications, they are the standard ones. Okay, for Coursera courses also you can do that. Okay, that also I have done. You can also do that. Fine. How the good certification courses, and you can say that you can work, you can make your image, you can make yourself ready to work throughout the universe, right? So do register for that. Okay, let's take the print with any separator, that is the colon or dot, that is already known to us, but now we want to have print without any separator. For that we should have the and is equal to double quotes or single quotes, but in that Space is not there. Uh-oh. Dot is not there. Colon is not there. Nothing is there. That means without any separator, right? Very simple code is there. That is for I in range of 1 to 4. For I in range of I, comma, 2 multiplied by I and range J and is equal to double quotes, no space, no dot, no column, nothing is there, right? Let me run this. So we can see the output, right? Is it giving us the output like when for loop is finished and then after print? That is a new line. No, it is not there because we haven't specified. If I want to have, I can have it here, right? What happened? Oh, indentation. You are. Yeah. Uh-oh. Ah, it is nested, right? So we cannot put it here. Oh, yeah, it can be here only. Either here, either. Fine. I think it is matching. The indentation we should check, okay? Yeah, yeah. Indentation does not match. It seems proper. It is not inside this for loop, right? If it is there inside this for loop, then we could have put it here, but we are not putting it here, right? You are. It is wrong. Yeah, it is fine now. Okay. Oh, one more space was there, right? Okay. So now we can say that it is the output. Fine. Okay. Let us proceed. We want to have the break and continue. Okay. This is actually not inside the for loop. Okay. It is not there inside the for loop, the way we have written the print. If I write it here, it will be printed, right? It will be printed here. You can say why it is printing in the same line because here it was and is equal to double quotes, right? It was and is equal to double quotes. Fine? Okay. So now we want to know about the break and continue. That is known to us, right? Break means come out of the immediate for loop, right? Immediate for loop. Immediate for loop in the way that if we are having loop inside loop, then it will only come out of the inner for loop or inner while loop, right? Let me have very simple example here. That is I is equal to 0 while I is less than 10. I is equal to I plus 1. If I percentage 2 is equal to 0, continue. Else print I and is equal to space, right? Very simple example we can say. What we want is whenever I remainder 2 is equal to 0, continue. And otherwise, you print this. So we can say that when it is even number, it will not print, but when the odd number is there, it will print it, right? So if we run this, we'll be getting it as 13579. If I put it as break, then it will come out of the loop, isn't it? Here, in this example, we are using the break, okay? Say RAN is equal to 2, 10, 20. This is also the example of our geometric progression, right? RAN is equal to 2, 10, 20. Term is equal to A. Now, for I in range and here we have specified only one parameter, right? Here we have only specified the one parameter. Okay, so and only we have specified. We are not saying any distance. We are not saying any star. Let me show you. Say for I in range of 10 and print I, what it gives us? It gives us I that is starting with 0. When we are giving the range with 2 parameters, we specify start. When we are using range with 3 parameters, there also we are giving the start. But here, no start is given and no distance is given, right? Only the final, that is the end is given. So what should we have is starting point is 0. The increment, that is the distance we can say is plus 1, right? 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then, right? This way it is giving, and as we know that whatever is the end, minus 1 will be there, right? Okay, so that's what we are using here is for I in range of n, so it will consider the value from 1 to whatever is n minus 1 is there. Okay, term is equal to term multiplied by r. If I is greater than 3, break. If I is greater than 3, then break and print the term, right? So we are only printing once, okay, when the loop is broken, right? At that time, whatever is the term that is being printed here, fine? So that's all for today.